Hi everyone, my name is Dana Ele'ce. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the journey of becoming the creator.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ambitiously Driven Podcast. I'm your host, Riddell, and I want to thank you for tuning in again. If you have not liked, if you have not shared, and if you have not subscribed or hit that notification bell, I need you to do so right now. As we're moving forward in this podcast, I am so humbled. I am so honored. I'm so ecstatic. I don't even think there's enough words to describe how I'm feeling right now to have such an amazing creative here with us on this podcast, Macon's own, Middle Georgia's top finest creative of all time. I have with me Dana Ele'ce. How are you?
Thank you, Riddell. I am good. How are you?
I am doing better that you are here with me on this episode. I know we've had some schedule mix-ups in the past, but I'm glad that our schedules align now where we can sit and dialogue and talk about your journey of becoming the CreateHER.
Thank you.
So I want to dive into this. I want you to tell me in your own words from a woman's perspective, because I know you are a photographer, videographer, just a jack of all trades. Do you feel that this field is more of a male-dominant field, or do you feel it's equal? Or give me your insight on that.
It's definitely a male dominant field. I literally 3 years ago I met my first female videographer.
Wow.
And she has been shooting with me ever since. Her name is Keela Lott. She's located in the Atlanta area, but that's like one of the many things that we have in common. But we kind of just took each other up on each other's wing, and we worked together. Like, not only that, we play together. Like, like that's my girl. Like, that's my friend. Like,
Wow.
she shows up for anything that I pretty much ask of her. Like, the same thing with me. But yeah, to stay on track and answer your question, it's definitely a male dominant field. I think I got a taste of that for real when I did a wedding one time, and my dad, he wasn't the photographer.
Wow.
It was another male. And when I tell y'all, they ran me over on that day. Like, I'm talking about, like, none of the sharing, like, the middle ground, the shooting, like, had a whole team, like, just didn't care.
Wow.
Didn't care. And it definitely gave me a different perspective in this game, especially with it happening, like, around the time where I first got started. And that's what made me just really just like, okay, like, they think they can do me like that. And that's when I really just started turning up for real, like, actually getting really in my bag all the way across the board, not just with the camera, but like in my business, like contracts and stuff. Like, it just taught me, a lot in that time. So yeah.
So with you experiencing that, I know that has like kind of strengthened you in some other areas, but has there been any other obstacles or challenges that you faced in this business, like you said, in the game or being a creative, other than, being it more male dominant and then, having to be walked over or pushed around? Has there been any other challenges that you faced in this role, being one of the great creative that you are as a female, as a woman?
Yeah, so definitely I feel like even prior to, like, when people are booking with me, I can tell, like, they're wondering, like, I wonder, do she know as much as this guy? So it's like my respect really doesn't get earned until my job is done.
Wow.
And then they're like, oh girl, you snapped, like you ate this up, like they wasn't expecting that of me. So it's kind of like I've learned to also embrace that too, because I love surprising people. Like I love like being able to like beat the odds. I love like when people are kind of against me a little bit because I know what I can do.
Right.
Like even all the way down to like I've just learned to just put that in my business as well. Like the trailers and stuff that you see that I post, my couples don't even see those until everybody do.
Wow.
So like I said, I love surprising people. Like I pretty much know when I've done a good job. I know like when I've done taking the extra steps to train my clients. I know when I've just done a great job across the board, and like I said, I've just learned to embrace that. So I know just me doing what God has called me to do, right? When I post this trailer, I know you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna love it, and it's gonna blow your mind at the same time. So that's my stance on that.
So what would you say to just any woman, not so much in this industry of the creative art side, but in general, what would you say to a fellow lady about overcoming those odds that they may feel they're up against in whatever they're going through from woman to woman? What would you say to her?
I would tell another woman to don't feed into it. Honestly, like stay focused on the path that God has called you to walk. Because when God tells you yes, who can tell you no?
Right.
So I don't feed into it. You're not gonna be able to catch or talk to every person that's against you. You're not gonna be able to do that anyway. So just stay focused and just lock in on the goals that you have set, the goals that you have talked to God about, the signs that God has given you, like this is called for you. Just stay focused. Ignore the noise.
What does the word create her, not creator, but create her mean to you? Before you answer that, let's back up. What got you? I know your family are creatives, but what really, because you talked about the path and when God says yes and all of that good stuff. So what really stood out to you to know that this was the path? I know you've been to school, you've got degrees, you're educated, and all of this stuff. So what moment happened, if there was a moment, to let you know this is the path you need to be on to where you are right now today?
I've done a lot.
Talk about it. Bring us into that. Help us.
I've done a lot. High school, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, academics, that was not my thing at all. Like I knew I was a very smart person, but when it came time to take tests and put it on paper, I struggled with that.
Yeah.
I probably finished high school with a 2.0 on the dot.
Wow.
So coming out of high school, I don't know, y'all. I don't know why I thought I was done. I don't know what I thought was next for me. Nobody really pushed college, or they talked about it, but I didn't know you had to take SAT tests and ACT, ABC. Look, I didn't know about none of that.
Yeah.
I just thought you apply and you pay the money to get in. That's just what I thought. So coming out of high school, I ended up going to Central Georgia Tech. My dad was actually out there with me, so we was in classes together.
Really?
Still not knowing what I want to do.
Wow.
I was in design and media. I loved my classmates. They kind of just kept me in it. There was times my dad couldn't make it to class. I was doing his homework. And I just remember, like, the final grade, he had an A and I had a B. I'm like, man, that's our A, okay? That is our A. Fast forwarding some more. My dad, he decided that he couldn't fit it into his schedule no more to go to school. But I ended up dropping out. I just didn't see no purpose in me doing it, because I just felt like I was just going, like, no purpose. Didn't have, like, no end goal or anything like that. I ended up dropping out. Um, then I did kind of some research or whatever. I wanted to be a school counselor, so I said, okay, I want to go to Georgia Southern. I want to study psychology. So I enrolled into St. Georgia Tech again, up under a different degree, kind of just getting all my core classes out the way. I ended up doing that. And I ended up applying to Southern, Georgia Southern. I didn't get in.
Wow.
So,
Why?
huh?
Why didn't they let you in?
I don't think I didn't have enough of the credits that I needed to transfer over. So I think
Gotcha.
it was supposed to be 30 at that time.
Wow.
And so I didn't have all of the credits that I needed. I also applied to Clark around that time too.
Okay.
I was so discouraged about Georgia Southern that I just ended up dropping out again. Around the same time I dropped out again, I got my big red letter from Clark. So I was like, oh my God, I was just so in shock. Because I just felt like the odds were against me at that point. Like, I don't know what to do. So, still not knowing what to do, I ended up going to Clark. I was a biology major.
Come on, Mom.
They told me that I was not going to have no life being a biology major. Like, I was never going to be able to, like, have fun. So, I switched my major. I switched to psychology. I stayed in psychology probably, like, for, like, my first 2 to 3 years. So, I was almost done, y'all. I switched my major again.
Oh, my.
I switched my major again, and I went into mass media. So, like, they was like, Danny, you need to pick your concentration, or is it going to be radio, television, or film? And so I was just like, I'm going to just try film or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. But all of my credits from Central Georgia Tech ended up transferring over into that program. So even though I was already 3 years in, I was still going to graduate on time because all of those credits had hit. So just being at Clark, just still, like, even though I'm a mass media major, concentration film, I still, like, was kind of confused on my purpose. But, you know, when you're at Clark, you see all of these different beautiful students that look like us doing something. So it's like, all right, Dana, you need to figure out what it is that you're going to do. Like, what are you going to do? I didn't, it wasn't until I came home, I think it was my maybe junior year, I came home and I shot a documentary, Brooklyn Rouse. And I will forever give her credit because I think that's, like, where life pivoted for me. So she wanted me to shoot her documentary after, you know, she was shot. And if I say, Brooke, I don't know nothing about doing no documentary. Wow. So I did it. I was just like, I'm going to do it or whatever. And so what I fell in love with was the editing process and not really the shooting part. I felt like, still to this day, I still feel like I'm a better editor than I am a shooter. So I fell in love with telling her story. So her story got put on the news. She got like 1,000 shares. I'm like, oh, okay, da-da-da. My plan wasn't to go into weddings. I wanted to stay away from weddings because I just know, like, how high maintenance, like, weddings are. And it's like, if you miss a shot, that's your behind. Like, you can't go back and redo no wedding. So my first wedding, I did it for $500. I look back at that wedding, I still feel like I just cheated them because, like, they were supposed to get a trailer and the film. I promise you, y'all, like, just starting off, the trailer and the film was the same length. Wow. So, yeah, that's how I ended up there. I shot my first wedding in April of 2020, I want to say. So that's what got me started. I shot one wedding, and then next thing you know, that's when they all just started coming in. At that point, it's just like, dang, I'm in it now. Like, I can't stop. Like, I just gotta learn how to just correct everything as I go. And so that's what I've been doing. Just still learning, still growing.
You are better than what you give yourself credit. I'm sure that trailer was. You ate that trailer. I'm sure you did. I know we are our worst critics, but I'm sure you did phenomenal.
That's all I can say.
So how do you define success with you looking at your work, even back then to now, which I know you've grown tremendously because you're doing such a phenomenal job just out of the country, in the country, all over. How do you define success? In looking at you, your work in the industry, I know every day is a learning journey. Learning never stops, but how do you define success for you? And then how can others define success in their creative or her creator journey?
Um, I think, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to answer this question. So I define success with how I've impacted someone else. So if you're happy, I know that I've succeeded. So even in my business, I lead with my personality. Like I, I don't know. I can't bring myself to kind of just lead what I do with what I do. So if I can, even like, if I could sit there and like make you smile,
Yeah.
or something happened during the day like where I just done kind of just made you feel good, I done succeeded. I done succeeded before I even deliver your project to you, in my eyes. Like, cause I know, like, we don't connect it for one.
Right, right.
Like, we got this connection forever. Um, you've made me feel good. I've made you feel good. So I've already succeeded. Even when I have my consultations, like with people that are thinking about booking with me, like, I succeeded when I got the inquiry. Because I always say that it's a blessing to even be considered. Like, and if I can get you on the phone with me and we talk, like, I've succeeded.
Right.
That's just one more person that knows about Dana Ele'ce films, regardless of whether they move forward with me or not. Like, I just, if I can make a mark, like, I know I've succeeded.
So what would you say to her, a fellow woman, fellow lady, however, how can she define if this is successful,
So,
whatever she's doing? Because like I said, we are our worst critics. How can we, or her rather, not weighing so much in the critic?
I would tell the next woman how to define success for herself. Honestly, just be yourself. Honestly, with in a field, with any field, like, you got everybody, they're on social media. Everybody's trying to portray to be what they think other people want. I always just say, just be yourself. When you're talking to your clients, like, clients just want to be heard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to be feeling like they're talking to like an automated robot or anything like that. Or that's somebody that's trying to take their money or anything like that. Just be yourself. Did I answer that right?
Yeah, you answered that. You got to be yourself.
I hope I answered it right.
You hit it spot on. You hit it spot on because being in business, not just so much in the creative arts side or whatever, but in life in general, I think many entrepreneurs have a hard time of just being themselves because they're looking at others. They're looking at Sally and Jane and John and whoever, trying to compare, their business with what they got going on. And I oftentimes feel like that's where identity crisis and even stagnation may come into play because you're not comfortable with who you are and what you have to offer. So my second to last question to you, Dana, is how do you handle, because I know you talked about the young lady that you work with now, who's a videographer as well in the field. So before then and now, how did you handle and maneuver being comfortable with you and what you do, starting out doing that video to now to where you are? How have you grown to be comfortable and not so much uncomfortable?
That is a really, really good.
Or judging yourself, not yourself, but what you do with another creator. Because we always have somebody that's, better than us, that we have inspiration and glean from. So how do you maneuver that as a woman?
That is a really good question. So you're asking me at what point did I become comfortable?
Yes. What stood out to you to be comfortable with what you do? And not so much, I don't know if you have or have not, looked at somebody else and was like, man,
I think the moment that I became comfortable with what I do, it was. That is a really good question. I'm gonna just answer it in my own way, and I hope that
that's it.
So, Jay, I know he jokes a lot about Visual Artist Jay University.
Yeah, he talked about it.
Well, I did go to Visual Artist Jay University. He did. He taught me everything that I know. I guess that's the importance of partnership. Like when I say, like, for the longest, I felt like I couldn't do any type of weddings or pressured events without him, because he just was like the calm to the storm for me.
Right.
So I just felt like Jay teaching me pretty much everything that I know today. He put me in a place to where I could be comfortable.
Wow.
And honestly, God is so divineful, right?
Yeah.
The minute where I started, where Jay was starting to get, more business on his end too, it was times where he could not go with me. So it's like, okay, he can't go with me. Like, what am I supposed to do? So it kind of like pushed me to doing stuff on my own, because he couldn't go. He couldn't be there. So I think around that time, which I want to say was probably the year, it's 2025 now. So probably around the year 2023, that's when I started getting really comfortable, like with shooting by myself and what I do and doing what I do. My friend that I was telling you about, her name Keela.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I knew I was comfortable, like with what I do. I taught her how to color grade. So it was like, oh my God, like I'm not the student anymore. I'm teaching someone else something, and she's incorporating into her business, and it's working, and it looks good. Like she taught me patience, because it was just like the very first wedding that we did together, like in her not knowing how to really navigate Islog in the way that I did. I felt like old me would have been like, oh, well, I'm going to go with somebody more experienced next time. But I saw me in her.
Wow.
I saw me in her. And so, like, she was somebody that wanted to learn. And I'm just like, maybe she, don't have nobody to, like, maybe to teach her how to do this correctly. Like, let me take the time to teach her. So I taught her. And not only that, not only is she a bigger help for me now, like, we can help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and it's like I said, divine timing is so good. The very 3 years ago, we shot our first wedding together at Hummingbird Hill Farms. 2 weeks ago, we shot there again, and it was nowhere near as hectic as it was the very first time. Like, I didn't have to be over her shoulder. Like, we just working the grounds that we were on. Like, that's, I think, with her, that's when I knew I was comfortable. Jay trained me up, and he made me like her teacher, like with the whole, like even with me, like the angles and stuff. Like Jay was so strict. Like, no, baby, you can't be doing that. You gotta do it like this. Like real tech savvy. I'm like, how you even know that? Like, you gotta make sure that this lens is a 30 by 45. Like, size, so you got to make sure you got have this for this. I'm like, okay, all right. So that was intimidating for me at first. So he trained me up and taught me everything that I know. He poured it to my cup. I poured it into her cup,
Wow.
and now it's just the overflow of abundance. Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good. You saw yourself in somebody, and that moment was a light bulb moment for you.
Yes.
That's good. Listen, I ain't got no more. We can end right there. That's good. That is good. If you can tell any lady, any woman, any girl watching this, anything encouraging, what would you tell them? Look into the camera and tell them in this journey of becoming the creator. What would you say?
I would say keep going, girl. Keep going. Even like when times get hard or times get tough, like keep going. Continue to pour into yourself. When you're unsure, talk to God. Get you a mentor, somebody that want to see you win. Don't be scared to get into any of the communities, like with people that do the same thing as you. Don't be scared to ask for help. That's the main thing, not being afraid to ask for help. You probably won't even realize you need help until you get to the end of your will, and then you just gonna be moving off of emotion, and you don't allow it to build up on yourself. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's plenty of people out here that probably had the same questions as you, and so ask those questions. Like even with you asking questions, like you're probably helping somebody else. So just keep going, keep God first, and remember what you want your end goal to be.
Listen, let's give it up for Dana Ele'ce Films, who has dropped some amazing insight and transparency on this episode of the journey of becoming the CreateHER. What is your social media platforms? If you're watching this, please follow her. Tell us what your handles are.
My Instagram is Dana Ele'ce Films. Facebook, Dana Ele'ce. That's about it.
Follow her, hit her up, book her, support her. She is phenomenal. She's doing an amazing work. Listen, thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope something that was said has inspired you and given you a little bit momentum to continue on in your journey as becoming a creative. If guys were watching this and whatever you're doing, that it has given you some hope to encourage to continue on. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, continuously be ambitiously dreaming.